Welcome to my podcast, College Conversations. I'm your host, Skylar Ravert, and this is my guest, Kaylee Ann. Kaylee, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Hi guys, my name's Kaylee Ann. I'm Skylar's roommate, best friend, co-worker.
You name it, she's
yeah,
it.
literally.
Me and Kaylee have actually been friends since 7th grade, so
Very long time.
fat minute.
Yeah.
So we are juniors now at U of A. How are you enjoying your time here at U of A?
I love U of A. It's just a great time. You know, with COVID, it's kind of but
So I've been dying to ask you this question. What would you say is your worst college experience? Because like you've been here for 3 years, so
Wow.
there's got to be something.
I would definitely have to say my worst college experience was one time when I had a roommate. Shirley, was fine, you know, in the beginning.
How'd you meet Shirley? Give
Okay.
us the whole
Okay, so
backstory.
let's back up. So freshman year, I just moved down here, and my roommate wasn't here yet, and I was going, or actually my roommate had just moved in this day, and I was doing rush for sororities. So the day I went up to my recruitment counselor to drop out, Shirley was with my recruitment counselor as well, wanting to drop out. So we both drop out, whatever. I'm walking home, and it just ends up that Shirley's dorm is next to my dorm.
Of course.
So Shirley starts walking the same way as me. She asked me to come to her dorm, and my roommate had just moved in, and so I told her that, and was like, I can't, I'm going to my dorm, blah, 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 but I was like, gonna be nice, so I was like, you can just come to my dorm if you want.
Kaylee being nice. Just
and
kidding.
so she came to my dorm, and then we all just hung out, and then we went out later, and then we just kept hanging out, and that's just basically.
So you met your recruitment.
Basically, that's how the whole friendship started, and so then
She peed on your rug.
okay, so then
Don't go into detail with that story, but just
one
brush
time
over that.
I come home with Shirley, and Shirley sleeps at my dorm, and Shirley pees on my floor on my roommate's rug. So now my roommate does not like Shirley. And yeah, it's just this whole mess basically. So we're trying to look for places to live next year, and I wanted to live in Seoul, and she wanted to live there, so it just worked out that we'd be roommates together. I just thought nothing of it, oh, it'll be fine, and I moved in with her, and it was all fine at first. I'm trying to think
When it all went
all
downhill.
started. I feel like little things would just upset me, or not even upset me, but just make me mad
Just, piss
or
you
annoyed.
off.
Yeah, piss
Yeah.
me off, and I'd just be
Like
why
what?
are you doing this? The trash would be literally overflowing, and I'm like, can you just take it out? And you don't even have to take it out, it's just the trash chute. So I'm like,
Right.
can you
We're
take
just
this trash
literally
chute,
down
please?
your hall.
And I just felt like I always had to clean or do that.
And I remember
it
you would
just gets
tell me,
annoying.
you were the only roommate that cleaned.
Yeah.
She never cleaned. Ever.
Yeah.
You're the one that swept and mopped
did
and
everything.
everything. Dishes.
Yeah.
So she started doing little things.
Little
that would
things
just
like
piss you
that.
off.
And
Okay.
then, so me and my friends would just be on the couch, and then I would have the lights on in the room, and she would come out and slam the light switch, and turn the lights off.
Like that.
And we'd be turn the lights off, and yelling at me, and I'd be like, why can't I use the lights if I'm sitting here? I understand if I'm not in the room, but I'm in the room. And it was just every time I had the lights on, I would get yelled at.
Which
And
is
it was
ridiculous.
just ridiculous.
And
yeah.
something very common that me and Kaylee have, we love light.
Yeah.
And
I
okay,
need light.
power bill, yeah, I don't even know what our power bill is, but doesn't matter.
No, but the
Like,
power
if
bill
you sit-
here was $8. I remember, I can pull it up right now. It was $8
For a power bill in
split
an
between
apartment.
us, so it's $16 really for 1 month. If
Which
you
is
16
good.
divided by 4 weeks in 1 month. That's what?
I
That's
don't know why you're asking
$4.
me.
16 divided by 4 is
Okay.
4.
Anyway, $4 a day, something like
That's
that.
cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So me and Kaylee love light. All of our lights are usually on in our
It's
house all the
$4 a
time.
week.
Anyway. Anyway.
Sorry.
But okay, sitting in light and having a more expensive power bill, or sitting in the dark and you literally gain depression.
Yeah,
Like,
I need light. It just makes me
like,
work
okay,
better.
I
I
went-
need to see better.
I went into Kaylee's apartment last year when she was roommates with Shirley. It was the most, no offense, it was just so depressing. Like,
No, I know.
all of the vibes, you would walk in.
It just seemed dead. Okay, no, this is the way I describe it. It seemed like a staged, like, place where no one lived. Like, there was no life. It was just like, it looked the same all the
Lifeless.
time. Lifeless. Like,
Yes.
like if someone like staged an apartment and they wanted to show off like what all the units looked like, that's what you would come into probably.
Yeah.
So then she started yelling at me one time when my friend was there visiting me because of the lights
Being
but,
on
yeah.
and the power bill being $4 a week.
That was all the thing, and I was just like, I am in college. I'm not here to like be yelled at by parents on FaceTime. Like, I'm trying to just focus on myself and
Oh,
like
it's not her place.
just be in college and just not be like
And just sit with
surrounded
the lights
by
on.
parents.
You just want to sit with the lights on in the
Trying
living
to
room.
enjoy my day with light. Like, if it's night out, I want the lights on. You know, how am I supposed to see what I'm doing? It's like people can use the lights.
Yeah.
And basically, I was just getting yelled at, and like if I had friends over, she'd yell
She would
at
get, like,
me, and I'd be
offended.
like, "It's 9 o'clock. Like it's a Saturday at 9 o'clock. Like I can be talking right now."
Yeah.
You know? It was just like
My
this whole
favorite
thing.
part of the story.
The silverware.
Silverware.
We love the silverware.
We love to hear about it. Tell them about the
one
silverware
day,
and everything.
I come home.
This was when we went to go see Giant Wolf.
Oh yeah.
Me and
and then we
Kaylee went to
come-
go to a party.
And then we come home, and she literally took every silverware out of the drawer, like every knife, every fork, every spoon, and they were like mixed between mine and hers, and we had a lot. So she took every knife and she labeled everyone with it like an S for Shirley. She labeled the silverware, the pots and pans, the cutting boards,
Spatulas.
the spatulas, like anything and everything you could think of, she labeled. She hid the salt and pepper from me.
Why? Like, that's just so
And
petty
like
at that
multiple
point.
other things she hid. It was just so petty.
So one time I remember I was sitting in her apartment and I think we were playing Wii. It was me, Kaylee,
Yeah.
and our friend Megan. And us three were sitting in the living room. It was nighttime, so the one living room light was on. And we were playing Wii. And she comes out and goes, and turns off the light switch and looks at you all mad and then stomps, like literally stomps away like a little kid. And then you just like, were like, oh, you went off. Overall, just like ridiculous petty things. This is one of our puppies. Charlie. Yeah, so then why don't you tell me about how you moved away from all of that?
So then one day I come home to the mom and grandma.
The grandma's literally smoking a cigarette.
The grandma's smoking a cigarette inside of my apartment, which is not allowed.
On the couch.
On the couch. And it was just like, what? And so then I remember I like went to class one day and I came back and my whole apartment's packed up of like her stuff in like the carts, the moving carts. And I was like, what?
So confused.
You know, because like I already went down to the office to say I wanted to move out. I was gonna move into my friend's apartment, who had an extra room, so it like worked out. And I went to the office, and then it ended up that she was trying to move out,
At the
but
exact same
then
time.
they couldn't find a match for Shirley in the apartments that were like had an open room. I told the manager I was fine to move out and I have a place, and he was like, "Oh, great, that actually helps me." And yeah, so then that's how I got away from Shirley. And then Shirley moved away, and now I've never talked to Shirley again.
Yeah. Shirley, I don't even think she goes here anymore.
No, she doesn't.
I'm glad Shirley is in the past. When Kaylee moved out, I missed class for an entire day to help her move out.
Yeah.
And we had to like unmount her TV, like it was a whole ass deal. And Shirley texts Kaylee. She asked where her cutting board was, and Kaylee was like, I don't know. So she thought Kaylee like, not by accident took it, but like stole it.
Like she thought I purposely stole her cutting board.
Then Kaylee was like, fine, like I'll go look for your cutting board. So we went back up to her apartment. Her cutting board was literally in the
And I
cupboard.
just sent her a picture and go, I see your cutting board is literally in the cabinet. Oh my goodness, it was just the worst time ever. And like, I just can't. And then the funny thing about it all is that she moved out of her whole apartment. I didn't tell her I was moving out because I wasn't gonna talk to her. Like, bye. I was done with her. I was like, you don't need to talk to me.
Yeah.
And so then I see them moving out, and then I was just like, haha. Because I was moving out, so then they just had to remove all their
Everything
stuff
back in.
to to where they already were.
And then, of course, literally Kaylee lives in her new apartment for like 3 days, and then Corona hit.
Yeah.
And literally we moved all of this, everything, hung up pictures.
For no
like,
reason.
yeah.
That was something else, you know.
That was. I have also had a terrible, not sophomore year, but living situation sophomore year was just not good at all. My freshman year, best friend.
Special best friend.
Yeah. Her name, we'll just call her Haley. Haley, me and Haley did everything together. We went to Coachella together, Mexico, like, we went everywhere together. And so we're like, yeah, let's live together in an apartment next year. Sophomore year comes and we move into this apartment. And all is fine and all is well. And Haley, over time, grew a hatred for my boyfriend. And like, hatred is an understatement. Like, would slam doors in his face. He would say hi just to be nice, and she would literally look at him and look away and walk downstairs. Like, was just so rude. So rude. Then she started taking her anger out on me. So passive aggressive. Me and Haley had the exact same friend group because we were in the same sorority. And she would literally invite like our friends over and not tell me, and I'd be like in my room doing homework on like a random Wednesday night, and like I'll just hear like all of our friends upstairs because we lived in a duplex. And I was just like, why didn't you tell me? Like, I don't know, it was just like little weird things. And like she would like stomp up and down the steps, like, and like slam everything, slam cabinets, slam doors, like, and I would start to say hi to her, and she would start to she just started ignoring me. And it was just the most uncomfortable living situation ever. At times I would literally grab my duffel bag and pack it and go live at the frat house, at my boyfriend's frat house, and I would do my laundry at the frat house. I finally, thank God, got out of my lease over winter break. And I was like, I'm desperate. I need literally to live anywhere but here. I went on Facebook and looked up like roommates needed at U of A or something. Clicked the very first option because it was $350 a month. That's so cheap for rent. It was a 3-bedroom house with 1 bathroom. So that was a little difficult. So I moved in, and this room literally was big enough to fit my bed and my dresser. This room was so small, so small. I had to like literally like inch around my bed to get to my door. Like, it was just very small. And my roommates were a little like weird. I don't know. They were nice, but they were just a little off. They were such slobs. Like, my fridge in the kitchen would be dripping like God who knows what substances from the shelves, just dripping. And I remember there was a carrot, a full carrot. I think I sent you a video.
Yeah.
A full carrot just sitting on our counter for like 2 months. Like, why? Why? With peanut butter. There was peanut butter on the counter. Just like everywhere. Just everywhere. There were crusty dishes. The crusty dishes were piled up. Like, so I just brought my own mini fridge and just kept it in my room. So I just would refuse to use that fridge. And then one time, I sat on the living room couch and a bug crawled out from the cushion. And I was like, never again, I'm just gonna live in my room. And I did, and it was bad, but hey, we got over it.
Now we're here.
And now we're here. That was just a kind of funny story about both of our awful living experiences.
Be careful who you pick.
Be careful who you pick, exactly, because I think
you really know.
yeah, like, okay, I say never live with your best friend, and like Kaylee's my best friend, and we're living together, just us two in this house and our 2 puppies. But it's different because like we've known each other for so long. I don't know. I just feel like I know how to like talk to you if I have a problem, and like I'm not scared to fight. Gotta fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We don't like hold grudges. That's the biggest thing.
Anyway, that ties it up.
Okay.
Bye.